Hello to all my pop stars out there. My name is EJ and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be launching a brand new series. This is called Pop Star Movie Stars, where I'm going to do a tier list of the biggest movies from the biggest pop stars that, have moved into the world of movies. This has been happening since like Barbra Streisand in the 60s. We will talk about her. Eventually, that's going to be a whole episode that I need to do research on that one. But for this one, we're going to be starting off with one of the biggest stars of the late 90s, early 2000s. We are going to be looking at the movies from Jennifer Lopez. Now, as you can see behind me, the tier list is a bit different. I cannot S tier, A tier, B tier pop star movies. Why? Because, especially with J.Lo, some of these are not going to be like cinematic gold. Like, it ain't gonna be what we should be getting out of great movies, but some of these are amazing, like campy, oh my god, queer cinema. There's a lot here that I really think could be really fun to digest and really dive into. So our categories are our top spot, She's Mother. Like, she's mothering. Like, when this movie came out, we got Mother.
This is a potential mother.
We have a Yes Queen, which is good. It's not She's Mother, but it's a Yes Queen. Get it. We have a Well Done Mama.
Well done, Mama.
It's good. She did fine. It wasn't, groundbreaking cinematic gold, but it still wasn't the worst. And then we have a Do Better Sis. It's not great. It's not great. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, because the worst thing is Girl No. Like, girl, I don't need this. So let's get into it with her very first film, and it is Selena. Look, the story of Selena still makes me depressed to this day. This film is hard-hitting. It's really good. It's also a really good performance from Jennifer Lopez. I know she wasn't really stretching herself. She was playing like a Latina singer, even though she's Puerto Rican, Selena's infamously Mexican. Like, there was the J.Lo having to stretch herself a little bit, but this was still a talented woman playing a talented woman and diving into it well. I really like the Selena film. I think it's aged well. I think out of the biopic films, it's one of my favorites. It tells the story. It makes the villain that is the villain there. It's just a really well done story. And I know they tried to do the TV show, and it just didn't hit the way this movie did. And I'm not saying it's perfect. Again, none of these movies are perfect, but I'm gonna put her in She's Mother. Like, Selena is Mother. This is a film I absolutely... It's just in a lot of our hearts. If you're not even a J.Lo fan, you still like Selena. It's crazy what this movie has as an impact. Next one of my personal favorites on this list, but I know it's not mothering. It's Anaconda. Oh my god, she's gonna go in the Yes Queen category. Anaconda, it's just a mess, but it's so fun. I love a creature feature. I love giant, monster attacking people, especially when it's like a hot, beautiful woman. I mean, literally, Jaws is my favorite movie, but if we just added a beautiful woman on that boat, that movie would be like 11 out of 10, not even just the 10 out of 10 that Jaws is. I'm half kidding there, but then I got, Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez and John Voight. Also, that whole cast for this movie, isn't Owen Wilson in Anaconda? I haven't seen it in a little bit, but I've always just laughed. I'm like, what the hell is this cast, this movie, the atmosphere, the story that they go through? Remember that guy gets the wasp in his neck? Traumatized. I hated that scene. It stuck with me and it terrified me. And then again, I love the Anaconda effects. I think Jennifer Lopez does good as the final girl in a creature feature. I kind of wish she did horror more. I think Jennifer Lopez plays scared well. We'll talk about that in a couple movies where it's more thriller than it is like a horror film, but she's still really good. I'm going to put Anaconda in that Yes Queen category. We're going to put one that, Do Better Sis. Out of Sight. It's a very 90s movie. We have hot George Clooney around the Batman and Robin era. He's Clooning. This isn't really just J.Lo's movie. She is not the centerpiece of this film. It's not like you're going to see Out of Sight because you want to see Jennifer Lopez. Like, you do it for 90s nostalgia. Actually, nobody is going back to rewatch Out of Sight. It's just one of those lost in time 90s movies. What hasn't been lost in time in its 90s-ness is The Cell. That is going to go in a Yes Queen. Production design, story, the surrealism, Vincent D'Onofrio's performance, Jennifer Lopez's performance, she's almost kind of blank in that movie where they put a lot on her. You know, she's in the weird dream world, and there's something about her that has to be moldable, and she molds well in this movie. I mean, she looks great. She's a fashion icon, and she wears the outfits well. They do not wear her. These are big costumes that I think really look well. I think Jennifer Lopez really does the best that she can do with this movie. And again, makes me wish she could return to the horror genre more. She has something there. She knows what she needs to do in the horror world. She's really fun at it. I just wish she would have got cast in it more. Oh my goodness. But what she got stuck cast in is this era, the romantic comedy era. Wedding Planner? Girl, no. That movie is bad. I don't know if you have rewatched Wedding Planner in a while. Aged horribly. There's like negative chemistry between McConaughey and Jennifer Lopez. Like, I mean, she has more chemistry with Owen Wilson, which we will talk about in a later entry. That I just cannot believe this movie is as bad as it is. Where again, Maid in Manhattan, well done, Mama. Like, Maid in Manhattan is good. I think this movie is really cute. Again, an actor I wouldn't think she would have as good as chemistry with. She does. I know this is a remake. I think the story is hard hitting. It's cute. It's emotional. It tells a story of class, which again in the 2000s, you know, they actually were diving into a subject that wasn't just two beautiful people being beautiful. It was, but then it was like, well, she's poor. You know, there was a conversation to be had there. And I actually really think Jennifer Lopez plays her role in romantic comedies well. She just got stuck in them for too long, where I could have been getting more enoughs. Like, sorry for that little thing. I could have got more enoughs. Enough is a good film. It is Jennifer Lopez playing a role outside of her usual wheelhouse, which is just beautiful women being beautiful and doing beautiful things. She's been an abuse victim. She wants to fight back, and I love the story. I mean, the supporting cast, Juliette Lewis is in this movie. I forgot the evil dude in the movie, but he doesn't really matter because it's just about Jennifer Lopez. Again, where like I feel Out of Sight isn't a J.Lo movie. This is her film. This is a tough movie to watch. If you've ever been in a abusive relationship, if you've ever had a friend in an abusive relationship, you know how real this movie can feel at times. Again, it's not a great film. It has, you know, lackluster cinematography. Some of the script is god awful, but I remember it really impacting me, and I remember just being like, enough is enough. What is your limit? I've had enough, and I loved the story. I wish we would have had more films like this at the time. I know, you know, when we get trends of movies where we get one movie and then they just make the same movie 15 times over with different actresses, I could have got every badass woman beating up an evil ex-husband, but enough was good for what it was. I don't know the timeline of this, but Gigli is a do-better sis. Not gonna lie, I kind of like Gigli. I thought it was funny when I saw it.
Fucking Dicosaurus Rexi.
I compare Gigli to how when I first saw Showgirls, where I was like, oh, I don't know what a bad movie is. So I hate this movie because I'm not trained in my cinematic brain to understand everything. Now watching it, this movie is bad. It's badly filmed. The script, oh my God, the script is laughable. And again, but the chemistry, but the charm that J.Lo oozes in this movie. That's why it's not in the girl no category, because J.Lo does what she needs to do in this movie, where I feel like The Wedding Planner, it's a lost cause. Get rid of it. I could get rid of it out of her oeuvre and never think about it again. But Gigli, it's campy. It's bad. It's one of those iconic bad movies that I think we all need to see once. It's just one of those movies. I don't know why Geely's always stuck with me when I first saw it. Again, it's one of those, I didn't know it was bad, so what do I get? I get this. It's not that bad. You know what movie I really like? Well done, Mama. Monster-in-Law. You know, I can't remember the hot white man that she's with in this movie, as she usually has hot white guy leads. We'll talk about Anaconda in a second. Goodness. But yeah, I mean, Jane Fonda and Jennifer Lopez's chemistry with each other. Jane Fonda in one of her like last great 2000s roles, and she's kind of fallen into some good stuff with like Grace and Frankie and some of the other stuff she's done later. But to me, this is one of my last favorite Jane Fonda performances in movies in the mainstream. I know she's had a couple after, but this isn't my Jane Fonda tier list. This is all about Miss Jennifer Lopez. But J.Lo does really good. I mean, again, romantic comedy. She got stuck in this era. for a long time. All of the 2000s, like Matthew McConaughey, who was in Wedding Planner, got stuck in them. Jane Fonda, I'm so happy she didn't get stuck in them, which is she's in the old lady rom-coms now with things like The Book Club and 80 for Brady. She has her own niche thing that she's gotten stuck in. But again, I like Monster-in-Law. I think it's not aged well, but it's cute. It's very much a product of its time, but sometimes I like to revisit the 2000s. Sometimes I want to have fun, but no one's having fun with El Cantante. Sorry. That's like the worst of the worst for her. The negative chemistry she has with Mark Anthony on screen, and I know she was with him much longer than I believe she was with Affleck. Well, maybe not now, counting the new Affleck time. I could tier list Jennifer Lopez's boyfriends and husbands. That might be a list. Let's revisit that at a different time. But yeah, El Cantante, bad. Bad, bad, bad. This movie sucks. I hated it. Like, Mark Anthony, the Puerto Rican Skeletor that he is, has zero acting charm, but Jennifer Lopez can do what she can do in that movie, and she tries and tries and tries. Can't do anything. Same thing with What to Expect When You're Expecting. Girl, y'all remember this movie? Because I barely do. I was trying to, like, I don't have every J.Lo movie here. I guess I should have put that at the beginning. I've skipped a couple because I'm just trying to do the more iconic ones. But I remember this movie coming out. I remember the hype around it. I remember everyone just mentioning what to expect when you were expecting. And I'm like, I expected a better movie than what I got. Because this was not it. This was not it. But what was it? And I'm sorry. Y'all are going to hate me. The Girl Next Door. I really like this movie. It is pure Lifetime Channel, scandalous, 9 p.m. drama. That's what it is. It very much feels in the same vein as Enough, where Enough is a bit more serious. The Boy Next Door is camp. Like, remember that scene where he, like, sexually assaults her, but, like, is wearing jeans and she's wearing jeans? And I'm like, this is still unwanted, but this is, like, the most uncomfortable denim on denim attack I've ever seen. But I like the story. I like this, like, I'm trying to lure in this boy, and I think what I compare this to is Swim Fan, another 2000s forgotten movie. But I'm glad the obsessive person isn't a woman. We dealt with that with Obsessed with Beyonce. We will be visiting Beyonce soon. But yeah, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it was a boy, and I'm glad it was the boy that it was. He was hot. I think isn't he on like that 911 show or something? He was hot, 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 hot. Hot, you see his little booty in this movie as well, and Jennifer Lopez looks great. She plays this damsel in distress well. Again, she does well in thrillers. I don't know what it is about J.Lo and a little bit of scares, but if you notice that Yes Queen category, it's all her thrillers. It's all her more darker, edgier films, and she thrives in them, and I do not know why she doesn't revisit them more. Hustlers, my mother's gonna hate me, but I'm gonna put that in a well done, mama. I think Jennifer Lopez, she was Golden Globe nominated, SAG nominated, Critics' Choice nominated for the film. Missed out on that Oscar. Not shocked that she did. It's the Oscars. They weren't going to give Jennifer Lopez a nomination. They've given other weird-ass people nominations, but sure, no J.Lo. I like this movie. I think it's a product of its 2010s time. Cardi B and Lizzo are co-stars in it randomly, but I loved Keke Palmer in it. I loved Constance Wu, and I think Jennifer Lopez played a character outside of herself. She's still beautiful, she's glamorous, but she's a little bit more evil in this movie. She's, does some unforgivable things, and she acknowledges her unforgettable status. And then that striptease, that's why it's in the Well Done Mama. That striptease to Fiona Apple's Criminal is burned in my head. I have been a homosexual for decades and decades, but when she, like, clapped her legs together, I said, well, baby, let me up in there. Like, I just... Excuse me, Ben Affleck, Mark Anthony, A-Rod at this time. I believe this was the A-Rod relationship. Let me get up in that J.Lo because, wow, she was serving it. Served. This was a serve. I'm sorry if y'all hate Hustlers. There's a TV show coming out that they may be redoing the story, so don't hate it so much. Marry Me. Marry Me is another, it's another well done mama. Marry Me was cuter than I thought. Again, I'm not the biggest of the rom-com Jennifer Lopez, but I thought that was cute. She wasn't stretching herself too far. She was playing a pop star. But what really sells this is, I can't believe I'm crediting a man for saving a J.Lo movie. Owen Wilson is obnoxiously charming in this movie, and I remember how much I loved him in the 2000s, and I love them two together. Their chemistry is believable. There's scenes where J.Lo, like, kind of strips down the aesthetic of J.Lo for this movie, and that's kind of what her character's having to go through as well. And I liked their back and forth, their relationship. It felt believable. It felt cute. I like this movie way more than I remember thinking I should like it. You know, it's just like a pandemic era rom com thrown to streaming. I should have been like, wow, forget about it. But it was cute. It stuck with me. It was one of those movies that I'm like, I don't think I would rewatch again, but I would also not hate it. Then Mother. That's the last one I'm including, and that's a do better, sis. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not good. You know, again, comparing it to The Cell, you know, Enough, Boy Next Door, these actual thrillers, these actiony movies that J.Lo's in, this is fine. This is definitely in the let's put hot women from the 2000s in action movies that we've been trying to do a little bit. Jennifer Gardner had hers. Gabrielle Union had the Breaking In movie. Everyone's kind of had their was once this hotter actress in the 2000s and now I'm like a little bit older, so let's give me like a motherly role. Mother here. I wish Mother could have went in the Mother category. But as we see, only one movie really made it to top tier J.Lo. Not saying that the Yes Queen category is bad, but wow, I just really thought that. I cannot believe Selena just ate up all the other girls like that. I guess I'm not too shocked by that. Well, that is it for my tier list of all of the Jennifer Lopez movies that I could find and put together. There's a lot of them. Trust me, this is going to be a struggle in other categories where like Beyonce and Lady Gaga have like 6 credits altogether, and I'm like, oh, I'll put those two together. So yes, I hope you guys like this. I hope you liked talking about pop stars turning into movie stars. There's a long history with them. I mean, Barbra Streisand, Bette Midler, Cher. These are singers who become very good at acting. And then we have some examples that aren't great, like Nicki Minaj is not a great actress. She's sure how the hell's tried. But then we have Queen Latifah, Oscar nominated. Like, there's going to be a lot of people we can definitely dive into. Actually, Queen Latifah would be really fun to do for this because, boy, Bringing Down the House burned in my head as a 2000s classic. But that is it for this video with the Jennifer Lopez tier list. What did you guys think of my tier list? What do you think of Jennifer Lopez movies? Share your feelings down in the comments below. What did you think of the idea for this show? Do you want to see this more? Share your thoughts down there as well. Subscribe to my channel if you're an American Horror Story fan. AHS fans, we got Delicate coming up. I will be reviewing it. Make sure you're tuning in. All right, guys, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz, and let's talk about pop star, movie stars down below.